After Thales, the pioneer who believed that water was the origin of all things, and Anaximander, his student, who introduced the mysterious concept of the boundless apeiron as the source of existence, the next great figure to emerge in the Milesian school of thought was Anaximenes of Miletus, born around 586 BC, remembered today as one of the earliest scientists and philosophers. He carried forward the mission of explaining the universe through rational ideas instead of mythology. Anaximenes was likely a student or close associate of Anaximander, and he tried to make his teacher's abstract idea of the infinite more concrete by choosing a single substance, something visible and real, as the foundation of everything. For Anaximenes, this universal substance was air, unlike Thales who saw water as the principle of life or Anaximander who thought of the indefinite. Anaximenes believed air was both simple and powerful, invisible yet everywhere, always moving, transforming, and giving life. He explained that air could change into different forms of matter through two processes: rarefaction and condensation. When air becomes thinner and lighter, it transforms into fire. When it becomes denser and heavier, it gradually forms wind, clouds, water, earth, and eventually solid rock. This theory was a brilliant early attempt to explain how diverse elements of the world might originate from one fundamental source. Though scientifically incomplete, it was a bold step toward understanding natural transformations without appealing to gods or myths. Anaximenes also studied the earth and the heavens. He thought the earth was flat and wide, like a leaf, floating on an endless cushion of air. He described the stars, the sun, and the moon as fiery flat bodies carried around the earth. Though this cosmology was not correct, it marked an important shift from supernatural stories of gods pulling the sun in chariots to natural mechanisms that could, in principle, be studied. He also proposed that natural events like rain, snow, hail, lightning, and thunder were all effects of the movement and transformation of air. For example, lightning was caused when wind was compressed and burst forth with fire, while rain was simply condensed air turning into water. These ideas may sound simple, but for his time they were revolutionary because they rejected superstition and emphasized natural causes. Another fascinating idea of Anaximenes was the link between air and the human soul. He believed that just as the soul, composed of air, holds us together and gives us life, so too does the universal air hold together and sustain the entire cosmos. This poetic and scientific vision connected the human body to the wider universe, suggesting that microcosm and macrocosm share the same principle. His philosophy was therefore not only scientific but deeply spiritual in its own way, showing how natural elements could explain both the individual and the world. Anaximenes' influence reached beyond his own lifetime. His work shaped the thinking of later philosophers like Heraclitus, who believed fire was the fundamental element, and also laid groundwork for Plato and Aristotle, who would build their own theories of nature upon the ideas of the Milesian school. His method of looking for a simple physical principle to explain complexity is echoed even today in modern science, where physicists search for unifying theories to explain the diversity of the cosmos. Though many of Anaximenes' specific theories turned out to be inaccurate, what matters most is his method of thinking, his courage to ask questions, and his determination to replace myth with reason. That is why Anaximenes is celebrated as one of the earliest true scientists in history. His story tells us that science is not about having all the right answers but about daring to look at the world differently, to observe, to wonder, and to explain with logic. And so, after Thales who gave us water, and Anaximander who gave us the infinite, Anaximenes gave us air, the breath of life and the breath of the cosmos, continuing the chain of discovery that defines the legends of science and inspiring generations to keep searching for the principles that unite us with the universe.